This is part 2 of the presentation that I did at my best friend's school. In part 1, I walked you all through the behind the scenes and just showing you all me preparing for it. And now here in part 2, we'll go ahead and just watch how the presentation actually went. It's Jan. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I put together a presentation about failing and growing. And so I kind of briefly talked to y'all about like my journey and how I said there's a lot of different things that I've done. The subtitle today is Using Failure to Grow You, which you probably all seen on the flyer. I just want to really just talk about that today and just reshaping your perspective when it comes to what it means to fail. So what we will talk about today, we've kind of just got 5 things. So it'll be very fast, very simple, very straight to the point, but it can be interactive. So I don't want y'all to like feel like you can't ask questions or anything. If something comes up and you're like, hey, what do you mean by that, Jan? Definitely feel free to ask. We'll start by talking about what is failure, which sounds pretty self-explanatory, I know, because everybody has their definition and we understand what failure means. But we have to look at that once we look at the examples of failing to looking at what failure means to feel grow. And then we'll briefly touch base on divine detours. This is something that is a subtitle in my book, so you'll see that as well. And then we'll talk about navigating forward. Navigating is like something that's very key in the book. It's called Navigating Life in Uncertainty because I want you all to understand that with anything, you have to continue to navigate forward. So what is failure? Dictionary.com defines it as an act or instance of failing or proving unsuccessful, basically a lack of success. Can I get a show of hands of if anybody has like failed at something? I think we all have, right? So this is what dictionary defines it as. And you look at the definition just so that we can kind of understand what it says is failure, but then we can take a look at some examples of when I failed. So here are some examples. At one point in time, I wanted to go to law school. I failed the LSAT. I did not get into law school. I had a relationship I was in that ended. Some people can define that as a lack of success as dictionary.com defines it. So that could be considered a failure as well. And then most recently, I was terminated from my job. I had a job this time last year and got terminated from that. And that could be also considered an example of a failure. But what if I told you all that I believe you don't really fail, you learn? And I'm not saying that failure doesn't exist, but what I am saying is that within every failure is a new lesson. Would you believe me? Yeah. So this is a quote directly out of my book as well, because we're reshaping and just changing our perspectives essentially. Using failure to fuel growth. So when I said that I, didn't pass the LSAT, I went on to do something else that I realized I wanted to do. I obtained my MBA. When I got out of the breakup, I started creating content and I became a content creator. And then after being terminated, that's when that book that I wrote was birthed. And essentially, I'm not saying that after each failure, you have to just shift and change it altogether, but you use it to fuel you, to grow you. And, it might lead to something else, but ultimately it could lead to just growing you in that season as well. And then I've included a little picture on here of me acting as well, because that's also new as well. But that came after I was terminated from my job as well. So every failure produces perseverance and growth. Every one of these failures was really a window and not a wall. So what I mean by that is if we look at a wall, right, you can't see through a wall, right? But if you look in a window, you can see out, you can see the possibility to come. So when you look at these failures, I want y'all to reshape your perspective about it and think about it like not a block. It's not a block. It's a window to something else. It's a window of opportunity. So now we'll briefly talk about divine detours. And so you've probably seen one of these as you were navigating. What you can think about when it comes to a divine detour. Or first, let me ask you all, anybody have an idea what I mean by when I say it's a divine detour? Miss J?
I have an example. Everybody knows that I am not a teacher at trade. That's not what I went to school for. I pretty much went to school to be a nurse. With that being said, a lot of you guys know that I was a bartender for 8 years. And I liked the environment. But it got to a point where I went to nursing school and I was like, hey, I have to change my life for my daughter. This is cool, but I want my daughter to say my mom is a nurse. So when I went to school, I told them, hey, I can only work on the weekends. And they ended up telling me, you know what? We're sorry, but we need somebody to fill in full time and we're going to have to let you go. Which really hurt me because to me, these people became family. But really my perspective changed because once I really sat back and thought about it, I love that job so much, I would have never let it go. So really God kind of just made it to where they released me and I can move on to the next step in my life out of that environment to where I just move up to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, essentially, it's a divine detour, like you said. So, and I've included a verse on here because I'm very big on my faith. And so one of the verses that that we can speak to when we think about that is Proverbs 19:21, which just says, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails. In Miss J's situation, she thought she was going to still work there, but God had other plans for her. So it's a classic example of what a divine detour looks like. So when you're looking at failures and stuff, you can also look at them as divine detours and things that maybe this isn't the plan right now, but God has an ultimate plan. So for this slide, I just wanted to include something you probably all may have heard before: delayed, not denied. So when we look at these failures, know that it's just simply a delay. It does not mean it's denied. So say you take a test, you fail at it. That's okay. It's just a delay. You're not denied. What's to come is going to come. So as I was saying, switch your perspective. Everything is about perspective. What do you see when you look at this? Yeah. So you might see the two faces, but you might see just the tree. So what I put this up here for was just for you to like understand that even when you're looking at failure, there's also different perspectives to look at. So as I've been saying, failure to fuel growth, but also as we looked at it, the dictionary.com, a lack of success. It's all about how you look at it, and it's all about your perspective. The last key thing I want to leave you all with is also another quote from my book, and it is this: with God, you can handle anything, no matter the season, no matter the day. There's something great in each of them. You won't be perfect, but as long as you understand there's purpose, you'll continue to strive towards that. You're doing your part. And navigating forward. So don't fear failure. Welcome it, actually, and use it to fuel you. Don't rush, but trust God. Don't stop, but keep going. And lastly, don't focus on when, W-H-E-N, but focus on the when, which the when will come. We just don't know when because it's God's plan. And I'm gonna leave y'all with one of my favorite quotes, which is, it's a great day to be great. And so normally when I say this, what I mean by it's a great day to be great, that means that within each day, no matter what happens, you might have bad moments, there might be things that happen, but understand that it's still a great day to be great. So when I say it's a great day, I wanna hear y'all say to be great. It's a great day to be great. Yes, indeed. That's it. Thank you. Any questions? I really enjoy being able to talk to the students, and I always love like watching videos like this back because it does help me prepare for the next time. And so I just hope that with this video, even if you were watching this video, that you were inspired and that you have a newfound perspective on what it means to fail. Failure should fuel you. And if you want more insight as to what it means to fail and to grow and using failure to fuel you, or you're just navigating a season of uncertainty, check out my book, Navigating Life in Uncertainty. It is a faith-filled motivational book that is meant to guide you and help you understand, accept, and navigate life in uncertainty. I'm Yan. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.